WNOV family, you're listening to The Difference. This is Will Martin, your host. We have had a glorious week. Boy, Jermaine, how you doing with this weather?
Well, now that it's a little warmer than it was, uh,
I only
I'm
think it's
all right.
about 5 degrees more, man.
Hey, I'll take it. It was negative 93 the
Oh,
other
come on
day.
now. Come
And
on. Do you know I changed my license plates in this weather with no coat on? I'm so used to it
no
now.
way,
I'm good.
no way, Doc, no
Yeah,
way.
14 below. I was like, I'm cool. I can do this.
Man, listen, it was so cold. I mean, and now I'm that the temperature's kind of changing and trending up. Um, I can take that, but the negative as a high, it's too
See, you
cold
know
for
what?
me.
As long as I don't know the windshield, I'm cool. I got no issues. I haven't had a coat on yet, man. I'm still, yeah. I really don't like coats.
Yeah,
Really don't like coats. So anyway, look, I think it's mind over matter, right? As long as you can get your mind wrapped around what you got to do. So, in that vein, we're going to talk today about children, right? You got a child over there.
yeah.
What is he? 8, 9?
Grandson,
Yeah,
8.
he's 8. Okay, still 8. Man, he's been 8 for an awfully long time. So so we're going to talk about children today, right? And trying to make sure how we do right by children. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is school choice as just another one of the options available for families. And we have an expert finally. Now I have been really begging this man. Uh, what is it, James Brown? Please, please, please.
Please.
I'm saying, like, I have been begging this man to come on this show for I don't know how long. So I am thrilled to have Christopher Lawrence, statewide outreach director for School Choice Wisconsin, on here. Now, see, you get the clap because sometimes that finger cannot find that
Can't
button.
find it sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Usually when it's got involved with me, you can't find that button. So, so thanks for coming on, Chris.
Well, hey, thank you, Will. It's great to be on. I know after about 2 years or so of
I know that's right.
trying to line a time and, coming from where I'm coming from work. So I made it work today. We're a couple days after it's National School Choice Week. So it's the perfect date to come on. So I wanted
It really
to come on during a
was.
perfect week for you.
Okay, well,
And
I
I'm here, Will.
appreciate that, but we had 2 others of this already since we were talking about this. So
We're making
so-
a tradition if you're still here. Will.
okay,
Let's
there we
see.
go. There we go. That'll be good. So you actually you mentioned about this was National School Week, National School Choice Week, right? And I know I got a chance to see you. This is the second time this week that I've got a chance to see you because we actually had School Choice Wisconsin hosted really a statewide event in the state capitol.
Yep. So the last week of January annually is National School Choice Week. It's a countrywide events that goes on all across the country. Now, because of the weather, we're just talking about the weather in the South. They canceled a lot of their events. Now, the weather wasn't anything like this. They were canceling 45, 50-degree weather in some states. But we had our annual one here in Wisconsin. So at School Choice Wisconsin, we host the National School Choice, the major event here through the National School Choice Awareness Foundation. And the last couple of years, we've had it in the state capitol.
And you have a rally. I
We
mean, I
have
think that was the
yeah.
incredible thing was seeing how many kids and parents and teachers were all there. I mean, because it was just busload after busload of
Yep.
folks there.
So this year in the state capitol, in the rotunda, on all levels, we had 1,000 kids there from
Wow.
all corners of the state. From
And
Kenosha.
Jermaine, it was calm. 1,000 children in the state capitol,
Wow, really?
and it was
Yep.
calm.
Yep, 1,000 children, all yellow scarves from all across the state.
Wow.
From
Even I got a yellow scarf. The man hooked me up.
oh yeah. So yeah, the yellow scarves is kind of like our trademark. And there was another group there with scarves as well too, the credit unions, and they had a little white green scarves. But we have our. If you ever see the yellow scarves, that's usually National School Choice Week
Wow.
I
scarves.
might be able to hook you up.
Yeah, give me
So,
one.
I might be able to hook
You
you
know, I
up.
can wear it.
There we go. There we go.
Especially in this weather.
So, but it was wonderful because you had all of these young people there, very small kids to high schoolers who showed up, and just the energy that was in the building. And it was all to celebrate having literally choice in your educational, what I call educational freedom, the ability to actually choose what's best for your child and what role you want to play in that.
Yeah. So it's I do school choice on a daily basis. Now I'll start by saying I have 4 kids myself who are in a choice program. Two have graduated out
Okay.
from Wisconsin Lutheran and some other Lutheran schools, and other kids that attend Wisconsin Lutheran and St. Marcus Lutheran. So not only am I work in school choice Wisconsin, I'm a parent of 4 school choice children.
Okay.
I have 5 children total. 1 child is in mommy's school. So he's a little baby.
And
but
even he was there.
and
Yes,
yes,
he
and
was.
even he was there along with my wife. And so that was great. And we had Hilario was there too as well.
Oh, wow.
And
Then
so,
that's how I got over there. Was
I'm everywhere.
and so 1,000 kids, again, from all corners of the state. Kenosha, Racine, we have busloads of them. We had people from central Wisconsin, northeast Wisconsin,
Mhm.
northwest Wisconsin. And we had 2 student speakers. We had 2 speakers who run schools, Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha,
Yeah.
and the Grace System, the Green Bay area Catholic education. About 9 Catholic schools up in that northeast Wisconsin area. And we had Senator John Jackler and Representative Jesse Rodriguez.
who I
2
just
big-
saw again last night.
Exactly. 2 big champions for us. Actually, Jesse Rodriguez used to work for a division of our organization,
Okay.
Hispanics for School Choice.
Yeah.
And so, she's a Milwaukee State rep on the south side of Milwaukee. So both huge supporters. And so, yeah, this is a huge celebration. And what we're celebrating is parents having a freedom to make the best decisions for
Yeah,
their kids' education.
absolutely.
You know, the parents are the closest to the children. I mean, obviously, they're the ones who made the children, who are raising the children, and who's with the children every day. And those are the people, the persons who are in the best place to make decisions for the child, especially in their education. Something, especially you get on school age. I know you said your child is 8. So school age every
His
day.
grandchild.
Oh, your grandchild. Oh, okay, your
Yeah.
oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
grandchild is 8. So
Now, allegedly, because to be honest with you, we've been talking about this grandchild, and he's been 8 as long as I've been at this station. I think I've never heard this kid advance any further, so I'm starting to wonder.
The mysterious case of Timothy, like,
Yeah.
Benjamin Buttons over there.
Yep. So these are, parents, and I made this decision myself. I attended Milwaukee Public Schools myself.
Yeah.
And when my oldest, Kayla, she's 20, but when she was 4, her mother and I were looking for schools. And we knew the school, St. Marcus Lutheran, had a great reputation around the city, and we lived downtown Milwaukee area at the time. And I knew I wanted to send her to a private school. I knew I wanted a better education than I had.
Yeah.
And we enrolled her and through the school choice program. At the time, I had no idea what school choice was. I just knew there was, parents getting their who were, the program pays for your tuition.
Mhm. Well,
and
to be fair,
yeah,
it's really the taxpayers, are paying.
Yes,
like,
excuse me.
taxpayers.
Yes, you're
are
right.
paying
You're right, because it's
for
not.
everybody's
It's not.
education.
There's no such thing as public
Mhm.
dollars. These
Right.
are taxpayer dollars.
Mhm.
And the money, the whole concept of the program. Now, I give you 2 things. There's 2 definitions. There's the general definition, just what is school choice, and that is
Yeah.
parents making the best decisions for their children. And then for listeners listening who are looking to get their kids in school next year, deciding where they want to go, if your kid's starting, there's a legal definition too in terms of what school choice is. It's a state program that covers the cost of tuition. The money follows the child. That's
Right.
the whole concept of school choice is
Mhm.
the money follows the child, and the parent makes a decision where they want to send that kid to school. And we're celebrating all options: private schools,
Yeah.
charter schools, public schools, homeschooling, virtual school. But it's parents making that decision, not government.
Right.
And generally, how it will work is, and just to give you a brief contrast, if you grew up during my era when I was going to school, you were assigned to school.
Mhm.
Where do you live? What's your zip code? That's what school you went to. You were assigned that school and that zip code. Well, what if the school didn't meet your academic needs? Didn't meet, it was unsafe. A whole host of reasons why parents don't go. You had no choice unless you can cut a check. Well,
Mhm.
if you're poor, you're lower income, even medium income, you can't do that. So you have one option. You're stuck in one system.
Right.
This reversed that, and we've been 30 plus years in school choice in Wisconsin.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Hilario, you were
I was going to say, when we were at the rally, there was something that was, mentioned in one of the speeches. Just because, we're in favor of school choice does not mean that we are against public education.
that's right.
And I thought that was a very strong statement, and it's true.
I think it actually got the loudest applause
It
of
did.
anything in the day.
I know you were clapping right away.
I surely was
sat
clapping
right next to
because
you.
I swear.
I was clapping too.
Yeah.
But it's such a true statement that there should be an opportunity for people to have options, no matter what those options are, as long as they're there, those choices I was telling people like, there's, plenty of choices, but school choice is definitely one of those ones that we should dive into and look at for sure. I went to a school choice school. I went to one of the speakers who
You went to a
spoke.
little bit of everything though, Hilario.
Well,
You tried it all out.
I tried it all.
So
Let's
you-
just say
you
they
were
were
living school choice. You
yes, I was living and breathing school choice. And actually the speaker, one of the main speakers,
Giselle.
I went to high school with her,
Mhm.
Cristo Rey Jesuit High School. So
Yeah.
it was very interesting to see her up there and, pursuing her, her opportunity, her dream of being able to have that option.
Yeah. Well, let's back up a little
Yeah.
bit because we've been talking a lot about this. So I know you brought in some information, and for people, we were actually talking about there are several 100,000 students in the state of Wisconsin who are part of the public education system, right? They're going to a K-12, several 100,000 of them. 60,000, as your information shows, are actually within the school choice program.
Yes.
Right.
So, yep, there's 4 programs. There's a Milwaukee program, Racine, Wisconsin, then a special needs scholarship program, and it's about 61,000 students
Mhm.
participate in that program. And it's just, if you look at the charts of where you started 30 years ago, I mean, it's like the best, if you look at a stock that just goes up and up every 30 years and no bent, that's what this program is. It's just a large curve going up.
Mhm.
61,000 total.
Yeah.
And over 400 and about 14 schools, private schools. More than about 60% of the private schools in Wisconsin participate in the
Mhm.
school choice program.
And I know that there are also options, for kids who have disabilities. One of the issues early on was, well, if I have a child with special needs, can they actually participate in this program? At the rally, you had people who spoke out, and then we got a chance to meet with some of the folks afterwards who
Mhm.
talked about some of the special needs programming they're doing today. So it's not just
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate largest myths that's thrown out by people who don't like parents having these options is, well, they don't serve special needs. That's actually untrue.
mhm.
In fact, we serve tons. Not only do we have the special needs scholarship program, which one of our speakers, Senator John Jagler,
Yeah.
and former State Senator Leah Buchmer were the authors of that program in 2015. It's a scholarship program for people who need additional help.
Yeah.
But we actually, DPI undercounts underwhelmingly how much we actually serve. We serve a lot more special needs than is actually advertised. We just do it because
Yeah.
we serve kids.
Right.
We
Right.
serve
So-
kids, and we
so
serve
there's no-
thousands of them.
There's no one type of child
No.
who can participate in this program. So we heard stories of folks who are immigrants who
Yep.
came in and had used the program. There are folks that whose first language is not English who've been able to use the program. Kids of all ages who are able to get into the program, and geographically, as you mentioned, there are certain parts of it in terms of how the funding is happening. But there are also opportunities for kids to participate outside of what started the program, which was Milwaukee.
Yes. So we're statewide now.
Mhm.
About 30,000 of the kids of the 61,000, over 30,000 are in the Milwaukee area participate. We actually have our open enrollment period is coming up for a lot of our schools. So if you're listening and you're interested in getting your kids into a private choice school,
Yeah.
you can reach out to us at School Choice Wisconsin. We help you start from the beginning of just helping you find a school, helping you
Mhm.
sign up. And that starts early February, the first week of February, where you can start enrolling.
So that's next week.
That's next week. And so you can reach out to us. That's what we do. On a
So
day-to-day
where do they
basis.
reach out to?
So you can School Choice Wisconsin, schoolchoicewi.org.
Okay.
Our number is 414-319-9160.
Wait. Now everybody's not awake at this
No,
hour,
everyone's
so
not
you
awake.
might want
Some people
let's
might be driving.
All right.
slow that roll
Slow it
down.
down. I want
Slow
3
that
cups
roll
of
down.
coffee.
Okay, thank you.
And
So-
Diet Coke.
So schoolchoicewi.org is our website. You can reach us right there on our website, or you can just call us at 414-319-9160.
Thank you. They might actually understand it this
And
time.
our staff will definitely help you. And we help parents all the time. We help parents, we help schools. We're a member association group, so we help all the private schools
Okay.
navigate this program. And we help we help some of these schools get into the school choice
Yeah.
program. But overall, the concept is empowering parents, making sure, and that's what that rally was about, making sure parents have these options. And seeing over 1,000 kids, those kids will grow up, they will go out, then new kids will come in, and this program is just only going to grow.
Mhm.
And it's just unconceivable to what it was when my kids started 16 years ago. We didn't even have the Wisconsin program We didn't even have the Racine program. We
Yeah.
didn't have the special
It
needs
was just
scholarship
Milwaukee.
program. It was just city of Milwaukee,
Mhm.
city of Milwaukee, not the county,
Yeah.
just the city.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see it expanded statewide. So we get calls all the time of parents who just need help
Right.
to get their kids into it because maybe they're not like, and you got to understand why. There's a good reason. There's reasons why parents choose private, and some, when we say it's not private, public, private versus public. We have families who send their kids, one kid to a public school, one to a private,
Yeah.
because they're tailoring it based on that child needs. That's
Mhm.
the whole concept of the school choice program. And so, day-to-day basis, that's what we do. We help these families, and that's what that celebration was about. And a lot of those kids are better off. They choose it. Some choose because they want their kids to be in a safer school.
Mhm.
Some choose because they may be Catholic. I want my kids to get a Catholic education because that's
Mhm.
very important. I'm Lutheran.
Yeah.
I want my kids to get a Wells Lutheran education, but also wanted them in a safe school. Academics, huge reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Our schools challenge you. My kids, they're so fortunate. They're so far beyond what I was when they graduated from high school. I was like that at 8th grade. Where they were like at 9th grade,
Yeah.
I was like that as a senior or a freshman in college.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very rigorous education. That's what I really want. That's why I sent my kids to, Wisconsin Lutheran High School. It was just so important.
So let's just go through the mechanics, right? This is about you sign up for the program.
Yes.
Do you have to? Is there still an income requirement?
Yeah. So there is income requirements. That's one of the barriers into the program,
Mhm.
unfortunately, is the income requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the Milwaukee side, city Milwaukee residents is kind of generous. And I'll just give you an example. So a family of 4, if you're single in Milwaukee, you have a family of 4 and you're single, so 3 kids, 1 adult, you have to make less, if you make less than $96,000, you'll qualify.
I think there's
Yeah.
a fair number of people that make less
Yeah,
than $96,000.
it's fair enough people. And Milwaukee is pretty generous. A lot of people qualify because Milwaukee is a lot of high poverty in Milwaukee,
Mhm.
obviously. But if you're outside, if you stay in West Dallas, right
Yeah.
across the street,
Yeah.
if you make under 70, you qualify. But you make over 70, you do not
Okay.
qualify.
Okay.
And literally just
So still, even we're not
Yeah.
treating everybody the
we're
same.
not treating anybody the same. Yeah, the income limits are a large barrier, especially when you step outside the city of Milwaukee.
Okay.
West Allis, Wauwatosa, some of these neighboring, but anywhere around the state, it's a large barrier. Obviously, we
Is that
still got-
similar? If you talked about people in Green Bay, you talked about
Yeah.
people who are in some of these other more rural areas as well. Is that the same? Are they
It's-
70,000 or less?
It's the same. Yep. Yep.
Okay. So everywhere else,
everywhere
it
else,
kind of basically
with the
goes.
exception of the city of Milwaukee and city of Racine, I should specify, city of Racine
Okay.
have the same income limits. But any city outside of that, the income limits are far more strict,
Interesting.
far
Okay.
more
Mm.
restrictive. The income limits are a barrier in the program. There are barriers that exist in the program. And we at School Choice Wisconsin, we're all about breaking these barriers in the program.
Okay.
It's a fundamental principle that all parents, no matter income, all families, school choice for all families is something we deeply believe in.
Yeah.
And that's what we're celebrating on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I see Jermaine moving around, and so you know what's going to happen. This is the early warning system. When you see Jermaine moving, he's going to turn us off one way or the other. So basically, I guess this is the part I'm supposed to say. Pay some bills. We'll be right back after this break. Family, this is Will Martin. You're listening to The Difference, and we are talking to Christopher Lawrence, who made me beg for him to come on this show. I mean, it was so long. I tell you, every time I think about this, Jermaine, I keep thinking about that song, Please, Please, Please. I'm telling you, just, going through all these changes, trying to get this man to come on here. But he is the statewide outreach director for School Choice Wisconsin. And we're talking about just the mechanics of, okay, so you have to be below a certain income level, but $96,000 in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, yes.
Plenty of people. Actually, even you said $70,000 or less, basically in the rest of the state.
Yes,
Right.
and that's for a family of four, obviously
Right.
based on your size. But,
Right.
Yeah.
But still, there's a whole lot of people that make less than that in
Correct.
the state. So,
Yes.
so there's still enough room for people to be able to participate. So, assuming they meet the income level, then what?
The next objective is to really just find a school that fits,
Okay.
your kids' values. And we help with that too. One thing about Milwaukee is there's a lot of, especially K through 8s here. So there's a lot of options in
Mhm.
the K through 8 options. That's the most challenging part, but that's the greatest part too, is because you got so many choices. If you qualify for the program, I mean, there's so many schools out there that participate in it in the city of Milwaukee. I mean, you can tailor whatever needs you need, based on logistics. Obviously, you get the kids there.
Yeah.
It's in your neighborhood. It's
Right.
not too far from you. Or, but I drive pretty far. I live in Brown Deer and I drive all the way to inner city Milwaukee.
But now I just found
Mhm.
out when we met. So Hilario and I went obviously to the rally and got a chance to meet some of the school directors. And interestingly enough, I didn't think about this, but there are now faith-based virtual schools
Mhm.
that are available. So even as you say about driving, there's also these options within the programming now where you can actually have your child going to school from home, actually participating through education online.
Yeah, the virtual schools is something that really exploded, obviously post-COVID,
Yeah.
for huge needs. And then it's just something that's stuck and has grown ever since then. We have more schools participating in it, year after year. One of our largest choice schools called Academy of Excellence, they participate in it. They're pretty large. They have kids from all across the state.
Yeah.
Over 4,000, maybe over 5. I can't.
Yeah.
figure-
So
they just keep growing. But there's
we
others
heard
too
about
that
them
was
while
there
we were
as
there.
well.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
Yeah, we had, I think Pella Hill Virtual Academy was
we
there.
met the folks from
Met
Pella
the
Hill.
folks
Yep.
from Pella Hill. We have another one. Just
Christus
yeah,
Victus.
Christus Victus is a
No,
academy.
Vincent.
Yeah,
Vincent. That's what it
Academy.
was.
Yep. Catholic. Yep. Catholic. And yeah, it's virtual. And so again, another way for parents to tailor, their needs,
Mm-hmm.
based on their needs. And I tell you, it's just so much growth in that virtual component. You got a lot of you are part of a school.
Yeah.
It's not homeschooling.
Yep.
The school choice program does not finance homeschooling. It does finance virtual. I mean, it doesn't. The money follows you.
Right.
We're not finding. Remember, it's taxpayer dollars, not the
Mhm.
government dollars. But yes, and another way for you to tailor your needs. So the virtual component is huge. It gives parents another option,
Yeah.
another lane to go in if that works for them.
Right. I think the great part is, when we talk about transportation, like Jermaine, how you get your grandson back and forth? How's he get around?
I go pick him up every now and again.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So, one of the great things is as they're doing school choice today, what they learned out of COVID was, hey, for some of these kids, they're doing virtual
Oh, okay.
where they get all their education and they're not moving, right?
Right.
There's no transport. So a lot of our families who are trying to figure out like, hey, I don't have personal transportation. I can't get around. I can't get my kid to X, Y, and Z.
Right.
This is another way that they get all their lessons, boom, right there.
Wow.
Yeah, and I tell you, the virtual
And they get the
component-
technology that comes with it
Yeah.
because when you get the voucher for school choice, that money's really being used for your education. And so if it's a virtual school, part of your education is that cost of technology is coming right out of the taxpayer money.
Wow.
You get in the voucher.
Wow.
Correct. Yeah, and that's one of the options for I have a newborn, 6 months, so he's far away from school age. But because my wife stays home, and believe me, driving around, my other kids, it was well worth it because we got in great schools. But logistically, there are large hurdles to it. It took a lot of time. They were in a lot of sports too, and that was a blessing.
Yeah.
I have that. But for
Burn
my
all that
baby,
energy off.
yeah, for a couple of years, it's something. If obviously, we got to maintain the program.
Mhm.
We got to keep the program around. We
Yeah.
got to keep it strong. We need more people joining it.
Right.
You know, we're always constantly educating lawmakers that this is a program that benefits everybody.
This is a bipartisan program.
Yeah.
I-
That's
know,
another component. Yes.
Yeah. So
You
a
know?
lot of people talk about, being pro school choice or or they think of it as an anti public schools. Really, the history of this is extraordinarily. Jermaine, you remember Polly Williams? You back then, Representative Polly Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Annette Polly Williams.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And so, she was the one who came forward back. I mean, this is generations ago now.
Yeah.
She came forward and said she was concerned about our kids being trapped and not having more options available for them to get a good quality education.
Yeah.
And so she didn't argue, let's close down the public schools. She just wanted to make sure, hey, let's give people more options than they currently have, right? She went to Tommy Thompson with the concern and said, look, we need to do something for our kids so that they can actually get a quality education. And I want our parents to be able to make some choices about what to do. Annette Polly Williams brought that up as somebody who represented Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Thompson on the other side, as a Republican, they got together bipartisan and created the school choice program. That's where it comes from.
Wow.
It was raised as something from a Democrat who raised the issue.
Wow.
It was a Republican who worked with her, and together they were able to create the school choice program that's still running today.
Yeah, strong bipartisan support. And actually, we do a lot of polling often annually. 77 out of 10 voters across the state support it. We know 70% of the state is not Republican, 70% of the state is not Democrats, probably 40-40. We're a swing state, obviously, but when 7 out of 10 voters support the program, that's overwhelming support.
Because all you're talking about is giving people a choice.
Yes.
Period. You make the choice
Right.
for yourself. That's it.
Yep.
It's
And,
pretty simple.
and I tell you, once you get into choice, especially the school choice program, you get the voucher. It's a lot of freedom. It's like, wait, if I don't like my current kids, even a voucher school, I can change the school. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can do that. Yeah, open enrollment period is coming up. You can change it anytime you want. If
100%.
you're not part of it, you can join it too.
Mhm.
And so,
And there's plenty of
Yeah.
options also on the public side, right?
Yes.
So you can still go to charter. All these options are available, and that's all. Generally, we're saying is, look, you should find something. What I love is that there are schools that are even targeted for, children with autism,
yes,
right? And being able to find specialized ways to teach kids who have these really, very specialized needs. That's, I think, the genius of the program is giving people options so their kids can get what's best for them uniquely.
Yep. And that's the beauty of the program is that, you qualify. Obviously, the income limits is a hurdle. We got to come over one day. But yes, that's the whole content, the whole reason why this was a bipartisan program,
Mhm.
created. And so it just, everything is about the parent who understands the child the best
Yeah.
and tailor those needs there. And yes, there's tons of kids. There's a school in Hell's Corner. It's called Journeys Lutheran. I actually have Bob Donovan, Representative Bob Donovan, toured the school.
Okay.
Bob Donovan is a good friend of mine. He toured the school. It's like, Chris, what they're doing here is just amazing. I was like, yeah, they work with.
Hey, how come
they-
you haven't
they-
hooked me up with
they
some
work with
tours?
high special.
I'm waiting for the
We
tours,
can get
man.
you on a tour. Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
saying, like, wait a minute,
I'll
you're
work
holding
with
out
you.
on me.
I'll work with you. So
Okay,
you
I'm-
met a lot of school leaders at that rally.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We can follow up with them. A lot
I'll
of
make sure he
a lot of them
calls me
commented
so
back.
that we get it
Thank
settled.
you.
We can settle
We'll get it
this up. Make
settled.
sure our- No,
All right.
well,
I have
listen,
to put Hilaria the henchman on
we
you.
want to get leaders, future leaders,
Yeah.
in the schools and see what's happening. I invite all parties, all stripes. When I was in the Capitol,
Yeah.
Democrats, Republicans, talk to them. Hey, come visit our schools. My school, Wisconsin Lutheran, is represented by 2 Democrats.
Mhm.
And so, and the leader there, Ken Fisher, he's our leader there at school. He's our president there, and he met with their offices. I said, Ken, invite them out to the school. They
Yeah.
need to see what's happening at
Yeah.
Wisconsin. We're a very diverse school too. The program is very diverse. It's
Mhm.
literally like a third.
Well, you were just saying to me, like, okay, so just from a demographic
Yeah.
standpoint, that it's what is it, about a third African American, a third Hispanic?
Yeah, it's 61,000 kids in the program. 30% are white. 32% are white, 30% black, 28% Hispanic or Latino, 10% other.
Yeah.
That's as diverse as you can get.
Mhm.
This is why the program is so popular too. It's just everybody, likes it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
7 out of 10 support, all demographics, all races, all backgrounds. We got Jewish schools, we got Catholic schools, we got
Mhm.
Lutheran schools, non-denomination
Yeah.
schools, we got Baptist schools, we got schools that are not Christian affiliated, we got
Right.
virtual. That's the power of choice.
Mhm.
It's that this parent, and this is something parents demand and parents want. And once they get it, they want more of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why the program is really popular. It's the
So-
one thing we have a lot of strong support in the state for is school choice.
I know you're gonna walk out of here in a minute.
No, I'm good. I
because,
got time.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
All right,
Give me a
right.
minute.
So, I just want to make sure that people know again, where can they get this information, just in case they were not ready. Now, look, if you don't have your pen and pencil right now and the pad and all that other stuff, go get it so you can make sure to write this down, because it is schoolchoicewi.org.
Schoolchoicewi.org. That's our website. You
Okay.
can find all our contact information there. Or if you got a pen and paper, you can write down 414-319-9160. That's our office number. We're open all business hours. And you can reach me. I'm Chris Lawrence. We have many people in office who help connect parents. We can help you find a school. We can help you fill out the choice application. We can answer any question if you qualify. And if you're in a city of Milwaukee, wherever you're listening, we can help you, because you just have to. We can tell you if you can meet the income limits or not.
Okay.
We can have those conversations, and we can help you. I say, I joke, we can hand hold you all the way there.
Man.
And so we're happy to help you, because
Okay.
there is one thing about it. The program is, it's not more difficult to apply to in public school. It is more difficult to apply to in a public school. Just a couple more steps. I'll put it like that. Just a
Okay.
couple more steps. And if you're novice to it, you're not aware of it, we're here to help. And
Okay.
we get grandparents who want to get their grandkids in schools. They help a lot of the grandparents. So if your kids want, you got a grandchild,
Yeah. Jermaine,
wanna-
they can help you too.
help you too.
They'll help grandparents as well. So
If you're happy with your option, keep it. If you're not, you can let us
For the-
know, or let
for
the
this
kids that hear
alleged-
us know.
for this alleged child I have never actually met. He has never come to this station, so far as I know. Oh, okay, that's it. With him still being 8 for this last 3 years. I think this kid been 8 as long as I've been at the station.
Benjamin Buttons, man. Benjamin Buttons right there.
You see that Jermaine is not denying it. Well, man, hey, Chris,
Well, it's a pleasure.
thank you
for
so
having
much
me. I
for
really
coming in
appreciate it.
here. You know,
Thank you, Mr. DeLeon.
yeah,
Of
there we
course,
go.
Mr. Lawrence.
So we will get you back in here again some other
I
time.
love
and
this,
make
man.
Sure.
I love being back here. I got to meet, some of your staff people.
Yeah,
It's great.
and
It's
let
my
me tell
first
you-
time in WNOV studio, so
Look,
I
we
drive
could
past
bring
this area. I know this area well. I've been.
and this is one of the rare occasions I got somebody in here that you don't have some
Right,
kind of
that
other.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, because
Well, I know him now, so I guess. next
yeah,
time
okay,
he comes
There
thank
you
you,
go.
thank you. So just so you know, this is the man who's a musician, so he's often playing. When Brad Schimmel came in here, we
Oh.
talked about the two
Yeah.
being a
Oh
musician,
yeah.
and he took over my show. And they started talking music for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
So
it was awesome.
it was awesome. There we go. There we go. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you talking with us about school choice. Let's see if we can't get some more kids, option that their parents choose for.
Absolutely. We're here to help. We're glad to have you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we save Hilario, for last, because Hilario's been coming over here. You've been over here a few times now.
I'm just gonna
Coming
have
up.
like a name tag, a
Right.
seat for myself.
I don't
you
know about
a
that.
name
Wait,
plaque.
wait. It better happen after mine comes.
But if you
So-
get it before him,
Thank you.
See.
Clark knows what I'm
See,
talking about.
Will
Wait.
will get the nice plaque. I'll just have to etch it into the table with a knife or
You might
something.
want to bring your own.
I have one at my office. So
There you go. We'll bring it with you. So Hilario, I'm glad you were able to come back. You were here last week.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was plan B last time.
Then you moved up to plan A
Plan A
this week.
this week.
You might be like A+ next week.
You know what? Let's just keep it going.
There we go. There we
Keep
go.
it
No, just as long as you don't end up on the payroll.
I,
'Cause I don't have that kind of authority.
Well, who do I have to talk to about that?
Yeah, there's some people in here. There's some people.
Yeah, I will
So-
say only A+, classes that I really had were like history and government classes.
Okay.
So
Well, Hilario, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because you actually, talked to me about the fact that you were adopted.
Yes.
and that you were in the foster care system. And we said today's theme is really about children
Mhm.
and all. And you know, you got Chris over here has got, what did you say, five
Five
kids?
kids.
You know, and they're all with you.
Yeah, they are with me. 20 to newborn.
Okay,
So,
okay, 22. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you starting all over
I know.
again? Really? I even thought I heard Clark on this one. Like, yeah,
No.
starting all over again.
Mine's gone. Gone and gone.
Oh my goodness. So, but we talk sometimes about situations that kids are in where they can't stay. Where it's
Yeah.
not best for the kids to stay, right? And we got in, Hilario, we got into a conversation about, oftentimes we'll talk about foster care
Mhm.
as a public policy issue.
Yeah.
We'll talk about adoption as a public policy issue, but usually we're not talking to someone who's actually been through it
Right.
and all. And you started to tell me your story of having been raised as someone who actually ended up in the foster care system and then eventually adopted. So
Yeah. So, I mean, by all means, and I try to explain this to people, is that technically I supposed to be a statistic, like should not be where I'm at right now, just based on everything that I've been through, early on in my life. So I was I had only one other, blood relative that's like my biological brother, Alan.
Mhm.
He's my half brother. We had the same mom, different dads, but we were growing up together. When I wasn't adopted until later on in my life. So we grew up in I was only 4 months around this time. Alan was a few years older than me. So he's my older brother. We grew up in a very abusive household. My brother got the worst treatment. I was very much neglected. They wouldn't feed us, our biological parents. There was a lot of drug usage that was in there. They were beating each other up, our parents, and my brother. And we're not afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. And that's what I was.
Yeah.
I was really, surprised by is that when you and I got a chance to just have a conversation, we really got into, boy, this is some really intense stuff,
Yeah.
and how you were just sharing, that this is just the reality of the
This
situation.
is a common occurrence in a lot of families. And so, like, an example, my brother, like our parents burnt his feet on the stove at one point. Like, it was that bad. And so one night, our parents were just going at it. They were fighting each other. He explained to me as I was older. He explained to me the whole story. He was holding me in his arms. We were like hiding somewhere in the house or the apartment, and police had to come. They were called. They had to break everything up. They transported us to the hospital. So we were taken out of the house at that point. Mind you, I was only 4 months old, so I didn't remember any of this.
Yeah.
My brother remembers all of it. And my adopted mom, my mom now, she had just gotten done filling out all the paperwork to be a foster parent, probably that week. And
Yeah.
it was that same night they called her and said, hey, we have this 4-month-old baby, baby boy. We need a place for him to go. Are you willing to take him? And she said yes. And they took me to the house at 4 a.m, to my now mom. And my mom and dad, my adopted dad at that point, were trying to raise me through the foster program. Stayed with them. They adopted my sister Nikki, who's African American.
Yeah.
And then my brother Seth later. He's my other adopted brother. And my sister was adopted before me. And that was our adopted father passed away. He had ended up I was 5 years old around this time.
Yeah.
And he ended up taking his own life. He was an alcoholic. I didn't know that until I was like 18. My mom always told me that he died from an illness, and ultimately, from a certain point of view, she was right. Alcoholism is a disease. It's an illness. It affects a lot of people. And my mom and dad, they own 2 bars. They were working it and stuff like that. And with that happening,
Yeah.
I didn't grow up knowing the whole story. Why was I adopted? I wasn't officially adopted until after my adopted dad had
Yeah,
passed.
but how old were you when you were adopted?
I was talking with my mom today about that, and I just kind of getting more clarification on that. I was around 5 or 6 years old
Yeah,
when I
but
was officially
you-
adopted. But
You were
I
in the
stayed,
foster care system from basically months old
yeah,
to that 5 or 6 years old.
correct.
Okay.
And so, and the reason why
And in
that
your case, you were
was-
in one home.
yes, one home, didn't move around.
Yeah.
Stayed with the same person that took me in when I was 4 months old, and eventually adopted. And the reason why it took so long, and oftentimes this does happen, is because the biological parents are trying to fight to get the child back. And so we see that a lot of times happening. There was a push for a jury trial. They were trying to get a jury trial
Yeah.
to get me
And
back.
I think this comes under the heading of temporary or not, no, termination of parental rights.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there was visitations. I remember visitations with my biological parents. And I was able to see my brother Alan. Now, Alan, my brother, was put in a completely different family. There was an officer who arrived on the scene at that time and was with us at the hospital.
Mhm.
They were working on also filling out foster parent paperwork. Now, the reason why people sometimes go down the route of being foster parents or adoption is because they can't have kids of their own. So
Mhm.
my mom couldn't have kids of her own. Alan's parents couldn't have kids of their own, but the officer said we're willing. They had nowhere to go. It's easier to put a baby into a foster care
Mhm.
or adoption than it is to have a kid who's just a few years old.
Right.
It's very difficult. And so they took him home, and they eventually adopted my brother into that family.
And so both of you had such, in some ways, unusual circumstances that both of you only went to a single household.
Yeah.
You were not moved around in the foster system multiple times.
Correct. And so it was that experience that, I was grateful that I had an opportunity to, spend time with my brother, growing up early on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I got a little bit older, it was around 9 years old, and I started remembering things. I started
Mhm.
questioning more about it. Who were my biological parents?
Yeah.
Why was I adopted? I didn't know the whole story.
Well,
Everything
we're
that
going to
happened.
find out the rest of the story right after this break, because I know I see him moving around again. and when Jermaine starts fidgeting, I know it's time. Exactly. So, okay, Bill Pang is coming right up now. We'll come right back after this break. Emily, this is Will Martin, and you're listening to The Difference, and we are talking with Hilario De Leon, who is Milwaukee County GOP chair. But today he came in where our theme has been around children. So we started off talking about education, and then we moved over to talking about foster care and adoption.
Yeah.
And so often when we're talking about this, we're talking about somebody
Right.
else, but we're not often talking about people's actual experiences that they've had, and you actually grew up in the circumstance. So you were just saying before the break about as you got to be 9 and starting to sort of remember things.
Yeah, it was there's a lot of emotion, a lot of questions that were asked. I didn't know the whole, like I said, I didn't know the whole story. I didn't know why I was adopted. My mom, you would try to explain to me that, well, your biological parents couldn't take care of you.
Yeah.
That's why, which is true. They couldn't. I mean, there's, like I said, a lot of drug usage, abuse, fighting. It was just a hellhole, and it was unfortunate that was the case. But eventually, I went and sought out my biological parents, and I found them, and I connected with them, and
Now, with one of them, right? Or
actually with both.
you were able to find both.
They were separated, but
Okay.
because I reconnected with my mom, she reconnected with my biological mom. She reconnected with my biological dad, who was living in Texas at this
Okay.
point. And he was a truck driver. I would say between the two of them, the one that has really changed was my actual biological dad.
Mhm.
It seemed like he really turned his life around and stuff like that. But what was unfortunate was, once I made the reconnection and reunited with them on getting to know them and trying to just have a relationship, and I explained it to my brother, and then my mom explained it to his parents
Yeah.
at this point.
So as
And-
you were saying before the break, you ended up with one family. They split you up.
and it was a long process because they were my biological parents were trying to go through a jury trial to try and get us, and the jury decided that no, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
You lose all custody.
Yeah.
You do not have a right to this kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's eventually, because of that, that's what pushed me into being officially adopted by my mom now.
Right. So in other
And-
words, they really couldn't adopt you before then.
Correct. It was just, I was still part of that foster care program. They were still watching me, taking care of me. She raised me as if I was her own.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember some elements of when I was officially adopted, and then there was a big party and everything like that. I do remember that. Same thing with my
Yeah.
brother Alan. And so when we talked about it with his parents, hey, I'm going down this route on trying to reconnect with my biological parents because of the trauma, because of what had happened, what they did to us. And they knew the full story because his dad, Dennis, was the officer who was also working on that
Who helped
case,
remove you
who helped
from the
remove
home.
us from the home and met us at the hospital. They said absolutely not. And because of that, they refused to allow me to see my brother for about 9
Yeah.
years
So
after
not
that.
only did you end up being split up, you also then couldn't speak to him
Correct.
for what, 9 years?
9 years. I didn't reunite with my brother until my 18th birthday.
Yeah.
And it was on the exact day of my 18th birthday. Someone else that I knew that I don't talk to anymore.
Yeah.
We were friends on Facebook, but it's what do you say to someone after 9 years of being apart? Someone who's supposed to be a blood relative. It was awkward. It was I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation
Again,
like
there's
that.
no training for how do you take that conversation on?
Correct.
Right.
And so this person helped reunite us, and it was great because it was as if we had grew up together. We
Yeah.
were very, thought the same, had very, great values, our beliefs and, our certain political parties that we were a part of, were very much
I just think
similar.
it's amazing, though, that you both came out of this situation where you'd been through some just horrendous,
Mhm.
Mistreatment, to come out of that sane, to come out of that productive, and to come out of that, both of you being positive.
And I think that's the ultimate word right there. Positive, being positive. I personally feel that because of the route that I took and went to reconnect with my biological parents. Now,
Mhm.
my biological mom passed away when I was 13.
Yeah.
Overdosed on drugs, under 6 different aliases or whatever in some hotel somewhere downtown Milwaukee.
So she was even really right here.
Yeah, she was here. She still lived here. My dad,
Yeah.
lives in Texas. I kind of lost contact with him, just out of respect for my brother because of everything that had happened.
Yeah.
But I felt that I had that portion of my life, that chapter, that door that was just kind of cracked open, always unknowing what was going on. I felt like I was able to close that door
Yeah.
and have closure.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it allowed me to, grow up and have a better experience.
See, speaking of closure, I can see this man touching buttons again. And so, you know what, Hilario, you were just becoming a fixture here because you've been here the last 2 weeks. And so I think we're going to have you come back again. Because
Well, I always appreciate being on the
Well,
show.
and I always appreciate you coming, but
Yeah.
I think we want to have a further conversation about this so that people who are interested in foster care can learn how to sign up. And God bless all those people who sign up as foster care parents who are making sure that kids have a place to go. And with that, peace out, because I can see Jermaine's going to go out either way.